Mr. Gray.
Hey, buddy.
How are you, David? Oh, shush. Bertha's saying hi. Get back. What did I say? Get over there. Go sit down. Hey. How you been?
What's up, pal?
Good to see you, David.
Oh, what's the matter, little one? Huh?
She's just doing her job.
Yep.
Go sit down now. Everything's all right. Okay, buddy. Here we go.
All right.
You got good sound. Everything's looking good here. And you're looking good. What I'm doing this year is I've asked each candidate to come up with their own question that they're posing to all the other candidates, and everybody gave us a great question, and we'll start with Alan Reinhardt. He was the first one that gave me one.
Okay.
What is your vision of Nantucket 20 years from now? What kind of place will it be, and would you and or your children be able to live here?
Well, as far as what kind of place it will be, I hope it's pretty much kind of like it is now. A great place to raise your kids, a fairly safe community to live in. As far as will my kids be able to be here in 20 years, economically, I really want to hope so. I really want to be able to say absolutely yes, but I don't know. I'm worried which direction we're going. I'm hearing from a lot of people work slowing down, and then again I'm seeing a lot of off-island contractors here, so it's all going to play together, and where it's going to end, I don't know. I really don't know if I can answer. But I hope I can still be here in 20 years. I hope my children can be here. What kind of community to be, as long as it maintains its, well, we can't be quaint anymore. As long as it can be a safe community to raise children, I think that's about all we can really ask.
Your question is the second one. If elected, would you be willing to spend a day as a shadow in each of our town departments?
Absolutely.
And that doesn't mean just in the office. Yeah. It means, actually going out into the field, into like hanging out with the harbor master, DPW, police, fire, health officer.
I asked this question because in the past I've heard other selectmen have said, oh, yeah, they've seen Perry in the sewer truck or something like that. Yeah, I should go with you for a day. Well, only one's done it, and I think that's a huge part of our knowing how Nantucket functions. I think if we would have actually show up at DPW in the morning, everyone punches in at 7 o'clock, you stay there, you punch in, you get your instructions, and away you go. And you spend the whole day with one of these guys in these departments and actually see how we function. I think that is so important to know how we function. And I don't really want to leave the office people out, but sitting in an office is one thing, but if you're actually physically out rodding the sewers or out with Dave Franzuto chasing a loose boat or something, you'll know what kind of resources he's got. You know what kind of actions they can perform with what they have and what they're capable of doing. That's why I asked this question, but I think it's important that these guys, we actually get out there and jump in with these people, and hey, if we get dirty, so be it.
This question's from Patty Raghaveen. Do you support the creation of a sewer commission separate from the Board of Selectmen as proposed as a possible outcome of this year's town meeting, Article 53? Do you think town meeting should have final say over citizen requests over sewer?
Well, Article 53 hasn't been recommended by the FinCom. Article 60 has been, and I was on the Sewer Advisory Committee, and so I kind of feel town meeting is very important to the Nantucket community. It's very important to Nantucket itself. It almost seems like we're kind of getting away from that. I really hope we don't, but we don't get the participation we used to get anymore. And I feel that town meeting will definitely still have the final say on the floor as far as sewer extensions goes, but you're going to have to go through a process first. You're going to have to go through an engineering process to make sure it's capable of being done. You're going to have to go through a zoning process to make sure that you're in the right zoning. You're going to have to go through all these other steps where the criteria checklist and stuff is going to come into effect before you can even go to town meeting. And I think that's huge. I think some people may come to town meeting and say, well, I want to extend the sewer here so I can have sewer, not knowing what other complications that might be presenting. And I think with this checklist and the route that they're going to have to follow now, or may have to follow now, I think would be more feasible and more practical for anyone that's trying to move forward in this. It's not just a matter of, oh, I want to take and extend the sewer to my house, plugging a pipe in and going. There's a lot of stuff you got to look at. There's a lot of other places you got to look before you can just look in one area. So I think that town meeting's very critical, but there's a lot of other processes you're gonna have to go through first, and I think that's important.
Okay. This one's from Neville Richin. What is your position of the various unions representing the town of Nantucket employees, specifically pay schedules and cost of living increases?
Well, unions can be a very positive thing, and unions sometimes can be a bad thing. I was part of the DPW union, and a very positive, strong union. As far as pay scales, I don't know if a lot of these unions follow the pay scales to the absolute. I mean, I'm all for someone getting a pay raise, a step increase, or whatever like that. But in order to get that pay rate or step increase, you got to go out and get your licenses. You got to go out and get your certifications. You got to take and you just can't walk in the door and all of a sudden say, you know, I'm going to make you an M3 or an M4 unless you have the credentials behind you. And I think that's very important. And the unions, a couple of the unions, I think, already have some of the merit systems already in them, but I don't know if they're applied as well as they could be. Mm-hmm. And I think the unions may have a tough time utilizing them. But I'm all for someone that, if they want to improve themselves, hey, there's room for improvement in anyone. You've been on the job 4 years and you want to step up, you just don't go ask for a raise. You have to go out and show something. You have to go and get a license or a certification, and then you're more than welcome to any pay raise you get. But I just don't think because you've been there X amount of years, okay, you've been here 5 years, you automatically get a pay raise. Well, if you haven't performed or you don't have the credentials to perform, well, your pay raise should be held up until you get these credentials or this license. I'm all for certifications and licenses, and I think that's a very key thing. And I'm not for just someone working for somewhere for so many years and all of a sudden getting a pay increase without working for it.
Okay. Rick Atherton asks, regarding the Sconset Beach project and the Town of Nantucket One Beach program, if elected to the Board of Selectmen, would you support requiring that the oceanfront property owners within Sconset Beach project area grant public easements to the new nourished beach before the town agrees to any work being performed on its property?
Well, as a member of the Conservation Commission, I have to be careful with this one. I can't say too much, but I'm all for the One Big Beach program and easements and stuff like that. Once the beach project goes forward and they take and do all this work, yes, they're going to be working on town-owned property, and they're going to be creating a new beach, which may necessarily not become Town of Nantucket's anymore. It's going to be shifting and moving and everything else. And I don't know, that the process is moving forward for the Sconset Beach, and
and then you're on the Conservation Commission.
I'm on the Conservation Commission.
You guys haven't come up with any finalized.
They should be coming in front of us, I imagine, in a couple weeks, and one way or another. And I said the other night, if you were a person who didn't try to save your house, I would call you crazy. I would say you're absolutely insane if you're not going to make any kind of attempt to save your house. These people are trying to save their homes. I don't blame them. Is this the right way to do it? I don't know. I mean, I watched the thing this morning on TV about when the old hotel was in Surfside and when the old railroad went along the surf. I mean, this erosion has been going on for hundreds of years. I honestly don't know if we're going to be able to stop it. We may slow it down a little bit, but And I'm all for public easements and whatnot like that, but I'm dead set against us giving away rights of way that we already own, or public access. I'm dead set against giving away anything we already own to try to get a small sliver of a beach somewhere else when we're giving away our accesses to the beach to start with.
Okay. Well, it seems that the job has been requiring a lot more time than it did in the past. How much time are you willing to give to the job? Do you have enough time to spend?
Well, I wouldn't have stepped up to the plate in order to start with if I didn't have the time, or I should say not didn't have the time, if I wasn't willing to make the time. God, I know how many meetings there are. I'm attending these meetings at 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. And this is a problem, and this is a complaint I get from a lot of people, a lot of my friends, when I ask them, why aren't you involved? And they all seem to say the same thing. I don't have the time. I can't go to a meeting at 10 o'clock in the morning. I can't do this. Well, you know, something I would like to do maybe as one of the first steps, if elected, I'm sorry, would be to change some of these meetings till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Will that make a difference? Will more people come? Hard to say. I honestly don't know. But I'm more than willing to put the time in. I've been putting the time in. I've since my beginning, when I first started to run, I wasn't a part of any organizations or group. I went out, I got appointed to the Conservation Commission, I got appointed to the Sewer Advisory Committee, I volunteered to be the rep on NP and EDC for the Conservation Commission. I'm making these steps, and I'm making the strides to show the people, hey, you know, I'm here, I'm willing to put the time in, give me a chance, and that's about all I can do is ask is, you know, April 3rd, when people come to the polls, take a hard, close look at who's running, and I would really like your support, and that's all I can say.
And what about experience? What kind of experience do you think you're bringing to the position?
Well, I'm bringing, and I keep saying it, and I'm an out-of-the-box thinker. I don't normally think inside the box. When I come into a situation or I want to know not only what's going on I want to know what's coming in from outside, how it's going out, or what it all attaches to. I want to know the basics of how things work, nuts and bolts. If it's fixed, if it's broken, just don't say, oh, well, we have to do it this way to fix it. There's more than one option to do things. There's more than one way to fix things, as long as it's fixed the right way. I don't believe in taking a shortcut out on anything. You look at your options. Someone comes in and says this is broken. Well, look at the whole thing. Don't just look at one item. Take a look at the whole thing. You may not find, for example, dishwashers or etc. You may not find that the dishwasher's your issue. It could be something down the line of the drain hose. I mean, you need to take and look at the whole picture. Don't just focus on one.
Got it. Anything else that I didn't cover, David, that you'd like to say to the voters out there?
No, I can't say enough. I don't know if I have to beg or whatever. I'm out at the dump every weekend. Please, just get out and vote. And as everyone keeps saying, every vote does count. And if we don't continue to participate more, or if we don't get involved more, we may very well lose our town government process the way we have it now. We may end up well into a mayor or a city council or something. And it scares a lot of people. It scares me. But if without participation, there's no other real way to go, and there's going to be nobody's fault but those who don't get involved.
Got it.
And just please to come out and vote April 3rd.
David.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed you.
I'm glad you called.
With me again?
Anytime.
Okay,
enjoy
buddy.
the ride.
And good luck.
I'm going back to the dump now. So.
All right. We might see you out there if I get. No, you probably won't. I got too many more people to take care of.
I'll be there till noon. So.
All right.
I got there at 8.
See you, buddy.
All right, Gino. Thanks.
Yep.
We'll
take care of yourself.
Yep.